Now from the night team. Shots fired at the former president.
We noticed the guy crawling, bear crawling up the roof.
Witnesses describing the moments leading up to the shooting and new details on the suspected gunman. We have night team coverage of the assassination attempt.
Hot weather in the forecast over the next few days to let you know when things will cool down.
Then a Hollywood icon passes away at 53. How the entertainment world is remembering Shannon Doherty.
And a gushing geyser in North Andover, what crews say caused the flood of trouble.
7 News at 9 starts now.
My fellow Americans, I want to speak to you tonight about the need for us to lower the temperature in our politics. And to remember, while we may disagree, we are not enemies. We're neighbors, we're friends, co-workers, citizens, and most importantly, we're our fellow Americans.
First at 9, President Biden addressing the nation from the Oval Office tonight after the attempted assassination of former President Donald Trump. Shots ringing out at a rally in Pennsylvania on Saturday. The former president seen with blood running down the side of his face as Secret Service agents moved him to safety. Tonight, President Biden calling for unity, saying it's time, in his words, to cool down the political rhetoric.
The president's speech comes as we're getting new video tonight of former President Trump arriving in Milwaukee ahead of the Republican National Convention, which is set to begin tomorrow.
The investigation into the shooting continues. Tonight, we're learning more about the man in the crowd who lost his life. His family says he was a firefighter and a loving father who died protecting them from the gunfire.
Meanwhile, investigators have identified the shooter as 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks. They say he fired from outside the perimeter before he was killed by Secret Service agents.
From Boston to Pennsylvania to the RNC in Milwaukee, we have night team coverage. We'll get started with Steve Cooper, the only Boston TV reporter at the scene of the rally shooting in Butler, Pennsylvania. Steve.
So, Kim, the day here in Pennsylvania ends the way that it actually started, with a crime scene still sealed off. And for many around here, so many questions, including what was the motive for all this?
We cannot, we must not go down this road in America. We've traveled before throughout our history. Violence has never been the answer.
President Biden addressing the nation tonight, calling for the country to come together following the assassination attempt on former President Trump.
Look at what happened.
Tonight, former President Donald Trump echoing those calls as he lands in Milwaukee for the RNC. Trump posting on social media, "Unite America." The former president pushing forward with his campaign after surviving the shooting in Butler, Pennsylvania on Saturday. A gunman fired multiple shots from a rooftop just outside Trump's rally. A New York Times photo appears to show the path of the bullet used in the assassination attempt. Trump's face bloodied as Secret Service agents rushed him to safety. I spoke earlier with one woman who was just feet from the former president when the gunfire rang out.
And then as soon as that first shot happened, it was like I almost followed it. I watched Trump go down to the ground, and then boom, boom, the other two shots came, and then you watched like the Secret Service were on him. Like by the time that third shot come, they were already on him.
Corey Comparator, a former fire chief, killed in the crowd.
Corey died a hero. The Corey dove on his family to protect them last night at this rally. Corey was the very best of us.
2 others were critically injured but are stable tonight. The FBI identifying the shooter as 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks of Bethel Park, Pennsylvania. He graduated from high school just 2 years ago. Here he is crossing the stage. He was killed by the Secret Service, and investigators believe he acted alone. Witnesses here in Butler on Sunday told us a pretty dramatic story. They say the stage itself was just beyond that flag that's between those 2 cranes. They say the Secret Service sniper was on the roof of that red building. They say the gunman was just beyond those trees on a roof of a building beyond the trees. And they say the minute that the gunman opened fire, the Secret Service sniper began shooting.
We noticed the guy crawling, bear crawling up the roof of the building beside us, 50 feet away from us. So we're standing there, you know, we're pointing at the guy crawling up the roof.
And he had a gun, right?
He had a rifle.
A rifle.
We could clearly see him with a rifle.
According to multiple reports, a local police officer climbed to the roof before he opened fire, but the gunman pointed a rifle at the officer, who retreated down a ladder. Investigators searching the shooter's house today, finding explosive materials inside his home and car. President Joe Biden says he's spoken with Trump. Earlier in the day, the president said he's directing the Secret Service to provide every resource needed to protect Trump. The head of Secret Service will also review all security measures at the Republican National Convention happening Monday. And the White House has directed an independent review now of the security measures at the Pennsylvania rally. And so tonight, while we do know the shooter's name and a lot of information about him, what we don't know is why he did what he did. And that is something that residents around here are anxious to find out about. We're live in Butler, Pennsylvania tonight. Steve Cooper, 7 News Night Team.